This is my wildlife friendly garden. It's not very big, but it's all that I have. I've come straight out the back door, and here we are to my left. It's my honeysuckle. It's a little bit wild, but a few weeks ago it was absolutely covered in honey dew secreted from aphids, but luckily due to lots of ladybird larvae and hoverfly larvae, that's cleared up now. Here in the corner is my stinging nettles. Believe it or not, I cultivated that because I wanted it. It took me I couldn't do it from seed. I ended up taking some root cuttings from a plant in the wild, and now it's in a silly place where it's was in a pot, but now the roots have gone down into the ground and I can't move it. So anyway, I need that. Right, now to turn right, this is the main bit of the garden. It's looking quite nice and colourful at the moment. And but in a few weeks it'll be even more colourful. And then there's another honeysuckle going up to the balcony. And this was meant to be our little sitting area, but it's sort of like everything else, it's getting taken over by plants. If any of you were reading my diary in December, January, February, you'll have known the story about my wall. I spent a few months in the winter scraping off white flaky paint. It doesn't look too bad actually, I'm getting used to it. But this wall here has still got paint on, but that's flaking. I'll have to do that at some time or other. Now, another honeysuckle. That's 3. This one's not as flowering as well as it was a few weeks ago, but it's not doing bad. And it's got lots more buds to come, but for my hoverflies and for my hawk moths, it's invaluable. I just can't stress how much that plant attracts the insects. And there's my pyracantha, another prickly plant. Lots of insects are always attracted to it. And just at the top there, I don't know if you can see, that's my green roof. A bit collared dove there as well, just peeping in. It's not coming along quite as quick as I'd hoped because it's more expensive than I thought it was going to be, but it's planted up with seedlings and looking rather nice. Right, here's my 2 mini ponds. The small one's about 10 metres and the other one's about 20 litres. I'm not quite sure, but it's got a couple of little pumps and some nice little plants in there. I've got the flag iris, is very tall, they're taller than me, but they've spent about 2 weeks flowering, new flower every day, and look sensational for a little while. And Viper's bugles. Spent years trying to get hold of that plant, and luckily somebody sent me some seeds from England, and so I planted this one, seeds were sown last year, and now it's in flower this year. I've already got, here we are, under the table, next year's Viper's bugloss are on the go. And here's my hawthorn. It's never flowered, but I think that's because it's in a pot. But I've got larvae in there, I've got pupae in there. I can't see any at the moment, any of the larvae offhand, but there are some Eponomota larvae in there as well. And here we are, I've got 4 ragwort as well. These are another I've cultivated from the wild. Look, there we are, the Cinnabar moth caterpillar there. And here, I don't know if you can see that, there we are, just a brown tail moth pupa. That should hatch into a white hairy moth in a few weeks. I've had a few of those before, so that's quite nice. Now, up here, this is starling box number 2. I have a second brood of chicks in there at the moment, doing quite well. They are tweeting away, and if you oh look, missed that, nearly missed that, there we are. starling just gone in to get some food. There we are. Be out in the tick. Oh, there we are, carrying a fecal sack. They'll dump somewhere in the garden, no doubt. And up here, I don't know where, can we see it? I'm just trying to get my line right. Yeah, there we are, just between the bell. That's starling box 1. We've had our first brood of chicks come and gone, and we've got 1 chick, I think, probably in there. I had a bit sad last week. We lost 2 of the chicks out of there. Found them on the balcony, so I'm not quite sure what happened. Now the sparrows have come in. They're wanting feeding. Just bear with me a minute. I'll just get them some mealworms. Here we are. I'll just give them. There's my mealworms. No, they're not coming down to feed. Oh, just a second. Oh, yeah. There we are. Starlings, of course. I feed the birds in the winter and in the summer. I always feel like there's more birds around in the summer, so I always carry on feeding right through. Just disturb them a little bit. Sorry, mate. Right, there's my little feeding cage. The smaller birds can all get in, including including some of the jackdaws. The smaller jackdaws can get in. But otherwise, when the pigeons come in, the food's out, they just eat everything in one sitting, which is an absolute pain and cost me a fortune. As you can see, I need a few steps to get from one side of the garden to the other. If me and my husband stand side to side and put our arms out, we can touch both sides without moving. So that's how small it is. It's 3.5 by 4 meters. I do have another bird box up here. I don't know if you can just... it's up there anyway. That's for the sparrows, but I've had it 18 months and they've never... Whoops, sorry. Spook the birds then. Just I'm in the shed. Anyway, anyway, this is my pride and joy, as I said. It's not bad, it's half past 10. The sun will be fully in all afternoon till about 4:30, and birds are coming. Right, I've just got the steps of the shed screen roof a little bit better. The tall plant there in the lobelia have self-seeded, and so it's a few dandelions and other things. It looks rather nice, really. I'll just be glad when the whole thing's done. If you look, everything I've actually planted has got a reason to be here apart from looking lovely. It's for bees or hoverflies, and particularly moths and butterflies, but also the birds love different seed heads. The Eupatorium here, which gets very tall, about 6 foot, the seed heads will attract the sparrows in the autumn, and they just peck off all their little seed heads. And over here we have the red campion, red valerian. Moths love those, and the salvias, they look a little bit dark. The phlox is just coming into bud. And over here we have one of my favourite monadas. They're just starting to flower. And then there's the verbena there, and the equinox survived the winter, which is an absolute first. And there we are, some borage growing from seed. And the Canatia Macedonia, one of my favourites, just beautiful plants. I think everything's here for a reason. Of course, the Buddleia, that has to be the most famous for butterflies and moths. The first one's just in flower. There are 8 in the garden altogether. found the 8th last week. It's South-seeded. I didn't know it was there, so that was a nice surprise. The garden. You'll probably have to bear with the noise. We're right on the main road here. That's some nice little South-seeded campanulas by the gate. And more South-seeded plants along here. Lots of moss and lichen on the wall, which is good because it's an indicator of good air quality and noise. And there we are. There's the apple tree there. I don't know if you can see the apples. A little bit windy today, but it's always windy here. We would have had more apples, but the starlings pecked off all the developing buds. In this corner we have a magnolia, beautiful in about April it was, a bit early this year, lovely purple flowers, and this large plant here is a Viburnum oculus. So I like the height there, it sort of just gives a little bit of privacy. Lobelias on the bench is just another little thing to hold plants really. There we are. Water for passing birds and cats. Oh, amazingly the oxeye daisy survived all winter. They're not looking quite as good now, but it was the first year they've ever survived the winter. And just the front, just runs the length of the front of the house. Oh, noise, seagulls, that's Imelda for you.